I failed nano. Yeah, this isn't clickbait. I actually did fail it. I didn't actually finish nano at all. It's currently not even the end of November, but I've already kind of given up on reaching the goal. So I'm here to explain what happened and why I actually failed.
You can't say you didn't see this coming. Finally got some inspiration right again.
Now, before we go further into this video, I want to kind of say that failure sounds like very harsh, and even though I say I failed, it doesn't necessarily feel like, you know, failure is the right word, because I feel like failure really is very negative. But I just wasn't able to do the full nano or reach the goal that I wanted to do. And I think that is due to many different reasons. So I was kind of already filming a part 2 of the whole getting up early and starting writing at 6 a.m. in the morning. And as I was trying to do that, I just couldn't continue doing it. I was so tired and I couldn't get any words in. My brain was just fried and it didn't want to do any work early in the morning. So even when I was getting up early in the morning, I wasn't hitting the word count goals that I wanted to hit in order to reach the goal of 50k for nano. And even though, like, in the video I did previously, I even said, oh, it's not about the 50k, it's about doing, you know, the first draft and whatever comes first. And I wasn't even close to really finishing a first draft, I would say. So about halfway through the week, I was like, you know what, this isn't happening. I'm not able to put in the work and I'm not able to actually do this. Like, this isn't working out the way that I wanted it to work out. So why am I still torturing myself by getting up early in the morning and trying to do this when I know that it's not feasible for me to actually do the 50k? Like, the amount of words that I had to do every day was 3k, and I got behind a little bit, so then I'd have to do at least a 5k day, which didn't happen, and then I'd have to do at least 3,000 words every single day after that. And I'd only done the 3k once that first week that I did it, and sure, you know, sometimes that happens and you can still do it, but I think in general you also have to remember that you can't always do the same amount of effort every single day. So what ended up happening is I just wasn't able to do it, and I had, you know, some feelings about that, which weren't the most pleasant ones, because I honestly felt like a failure. Part of me felt like I hadn't written in so long, so this was my kind of way to prove to myself that I could still write, and I still had that in me, because I felt like I had lost kind of that whole side of me, and I didn't want to lose it. So nano in a lot of ways felt like this was my kind of way to tell myself I was still able to write. And with me not doing the words that I had to do every day, and me not really getting to that goal that I wanted to reach, I felt terrible about it. I felt like such a failure. I felt like I wasn't reaching the goals and I wasn't putting enough effort into it, and I wasn't trying to get to that goal enough. And I really felt like this is it. I'm never gonna be able to write again. And I felt really bad. And part of me also knows that that's not true. I am not a failure. Me reaching the 50k does not, you know, stand equal to me being able to write. I feel like I was really trying to push myself to do it, because I was like, I have done it before, like I can do it again. And it didn't happen this time around, and I felt terrible, but at the same time I knew that not reaching nano wasn't gonna be the end of the world. It wasn't gonna, you know, mean that I don't have a writing career in the future. I don't have the ability to do this, you know, in the long run. Like, even if my brain tells me all of these like negative things about myself, that's not reality. And I can kind of already do that in my head when I have those thoughts, but it's not always easy. So yeah, that wasn't really like a pleasant day. I also ended up speaking to my psychologist about it later that day, because it was luckily today I had to go to the therapist anyway. And she was also saying, like, if you look at your day, if you look at your week, and you would show someone everything that you do, they would say, I don't know how you do it. And kind of hearing her say that really helps. Also, she was like, look, you have your day job, then you have your writing, and then you have your YouTube stuff. It feels to me like you're doing 3 full-time jobs and you're expecting to all work out, and then you have your relationships with your family and your boyfriend, like all of it on top of what you already do, and then you have housework and like all these other things. And I was like, yeah, you're right, but like I've done it before. Like, why can I just not do it again? And, you know, it's everything combined, obviously. And part of it might have been the story wasn't really clicking with me as much as previous stories have done. I was really struggling to write this story, and part of me wants to continue it, and part of me is like, I don't want to continue it. So that is also probably part of why it wasn't really flowing the way that I wanted it to, and that frustrated me. So yeah, it's a lot of different reasons, but I actually did end up making a spreadsheet to kind of show what my days look like and what my week looks like, so that I can kind of see myself that it's not crazy if I don't reach my goals. But yeah, let me grab that. Obviously I made spreadsheets because, you know, I love spreadsheets. So basically I have a normal schedule, which is my usual day job stuff next to my YouTube stuff, writing stuff like that. I've already calculated in kind of my Mondays off, and then also spending time with my boyfriend, because that obviously wasn't part of my whole schedule at the start of this year, but has become part of my schedule now. So that kind of shows what I spend my time on with like everything. So on Mondays used to be kind of my YouTube days, and that would be filming videos and also editing videos, stuff like that, so that I could get that out of the way on Mondays. That was usually this is my YouTube day, and that was it. And then I would do kind of my writing in the evenings whenever I felt like it, even though that wasn't really happening, but that would be the ideal scenario. And then, you know, like other author stuff, admin stuff, and then also spending time with my boyfriend. We usually play video games when it's us being separated in our own living places, and when we're together we usually end up watching a movie, or we end up going out and watching a movie in the cinema, or we do whatever, we go out for dinner or something like that. So we have a lot of times that we spend together in the evenings, and then also the weekends are usually spent with him. That takes my weekends out of my usual schedule, which was doing all the author and writing stuff in the weekends, in the evenings, all of it. I would spend so much time working on my videos, working on other author stuff, like redesigning my banner for YouTube, doing like random stuff of like trying to figure out the best way to figure out my website, and like all of these things that I was trying to do. And now it's become very much more focused and very much more also focusing on me. So my schedule now also reflects me going to physical therapy for my foot still, and then also going to my psychologist for therapy as well. So that is both of them once a week. So that means I have to take time out of my schedule to actually go there and have my appointments. So that also takes obviously time out of your schedule, but also energy, not just physical energy, but also mental energy. And that means most of the time in the evenings, I don't really want to do anything. So even though I had like writing planned here on the Tuesday evening, that doesn't usually happen. I usually just sit down and do nothing, maybe watch some YouTube videos and play video games and just chill, because it can be quite mentally taxing for me. Then as of November, I basically started working Mondays again so that I can take some time off in December before I have my big trip that I am planning to go to Australia with. So I basically wanted some more holiday days, and the only way that I could get them was to work on my Mondays off, so that I can keep those hours and then spend those towards a week off that I can spend with my boyfriend. So I started working Mondays again, which meant that my YouTube Mondays were now nowhere to be seen. I wasn't gonna be able to do my videos on Mondays, so I was trying to do them on Saturday. Basically in the morning, sometimes my boyfriend still works on Saturday mornings, so then I can try and do a lot of things in the mornings when he's not yet here, or if we're not planning on doing anything in that time frame. So that is a part of me that can still do it on those Saturday mornings, but that is also kind of the time that I do my laundry and that I do like my tidying up of my apartment and like stuff like that. And what usually happens is that my neighbors tend to do a lot of things on Saturdays. I have a lot of drilling noises, a lot of like, I don't know what they were doing yesterday. It was probably like, I don't know, I felt like they were tearing down a wall with the noises that I was making. So a lot of times I also can't film videos when I want to film videos because of the noise my neighbors make. And sometimes I tend to talk over the noise and try and just cross my fingers that everything's gonna be fine. But it's not the easiest sometimes. So that kind of, it gets moved to Saturday, and then I need to do my video editing usually like in the evenings during the week. So my writing time in the evenings have kind of been taken over by YouTube stuff so that I can actually still put out the videos. So that is a little bit my week with work on Monday. And then I was like, I'm gonna get up and do my writing in the mornings because I don't know how else I'm gonna fit in my writing for Nano. So that is what my week looked like, which meant I basically got less sleep because I wasn't really going to bed much earlier than I usually would have. I wasn't getting enough sleep, and that really didn't work well for me. I wasn't really being productive, and then usually in the evenings whenever I still had the YouTube things to do, those wouldn't really happen as much because I was really tired. So it's not a good kind of way of doing things, I would say. So when I look at my schedule now, looking back on it, I'm like, yeah, maybe it was a little bit crazy. I mean, it was a good experiment. It was nice to kind of see that I, was able to do it, even if it was just for 1 week. But it's not, I think, something that is very sustainable at the moment. I think maybe at some point in the future I'll try again and kind of see how that works, but right now it's just not something that I can do with me trying to go through all these things already and just working on myself more. It doesn't really help to be sleep deprived. So I am not going to continue doing this for Nano, which is why I said, you know what, I'm not even gonna try and reach any Nano goals. I'm just gonna take my loss in the sense that I didn't reach the goal, but at the same time I did write about 20,000 words in November, and that's definitely more than I've written all year. So I'm happy with that. Am I happy that I didn't get to reach my goal? No, but I'm happy that I have that reflection moment now and I can kind of look back on a week that I enjoyed kind of torturing myself in a way, and I'm proud that I still did it, even though there were times I was like, I don't want to get up. So I look back on that week knowing that I could push myself if I really wanted to, but I kind of didn't want to. It was a good experience, but I don't think it's something that I'll continue doing. We'll see if I ever do it again. I'll let you know. Something that I also wanted to share that my therapist actually told me is when you look at, for example, top athletes, and you ask them to run the same race every single day, they're not gonna get the same time every single time, right? So they're not gonna run the same exact race every single time. They're not gonna be able to always run within a certain amount of time. That's just not what the body is made for, I guess. With me expecting myself to actually write 3,000 words every single day, that was a little bit of an unrealistic goal, I think. So I definitely need to kind of think about what my goals are gonna be for next year, which is something that I definitely want to start figuring out already, so I can have kind of an outline of what I want to do next year, even though I find goal setting very scary because when I don't reach my goal I feel like I failed it, which shouldn't be the way that I look at things, but it is something that I do, and it's not the best thing, but I'm learning. So that is my very, very long explanation of why I didn't reach my Nano goal. But I also want to say to anyone out there that hasn't reached their goal either, that I'm still proud of you for trying to push yourself to do it. I'm proud of myself for trying to push myself to do it, even though I kind of knew that I wasn't going to be able to. I even asked myself, how am I going to do Nano with everything that I have going on, and with me already being tired and wanting to do all these videos for when I'm going to Australia? Like, how am I going to fit everything into my schedule? And the only thing I could think of was getting up early, and that definitely wasn't the best plan, but we live and we learn. So literally, to anyone that's struggling or that has not reached their goal because of life situations or just because, it's okay. I'm still proud of you for trying to reach your goal, and I'm still proud of you for doing the work and getting words in, even if that wasn't the word count goal that you wanted to hit, or it wasn't the goal you had in mind. You still put your effort into it, you did your best. And even if you feel like you didn't do your best, you did at the time. Even if you feel like you could have done more, there's a reason you didn't. And I'm not gonna say that that is because you're lazy, because that's not true. Usually when your body is kind of telling you, hey, take a break, don't do it, it's also part of you that knows that you need that break. So if you took a break and if you were not sitting down and writing when you could have sometimes, I want you to tell yourself that that was okay, because that is what you needed at the time. I definitely feel very guilty all the time when I'm not doing writing or when I'm not being productive, but that's something that I had to learn kind of the hard way, that I also need time to just chill and do things to just relax and recuperate and recover from doing all the work. So be grateful to yourself is basically what I'm trying to say. Be proud of the progress that you do make and just accept it. I know it's hard, but accept that you can't always do it all. It's something that I'm still struggling with a lot, but it's something that I need to tell myself more. So maybe I'll look back on this video years from now and reflect, but right now I definitely know that I need to give myself more grace on all these things. So yeah, that's me for this update. I hope you somehow enjoyed this video, or it was at least somehow, you know, I don't know, educational or motivational if you needed a little pick-me-up after not reaching nano. I hope that I can be that for you. And yeah, if you did reach nano, then yay, good for you. I'm still very proud of you. I'm happy for you. Even if I didn't reach it myself, I can be happy for other people and really celebrate them. So I'm really proud of all of you that reached nano as well. So yeah, let me know down in the comments if you were able to reach your goal this month or not, and if not, then hey, we're in the same boat, so it's all good. We have company, you're not alone in this. I hope that you will continue watching my videos, and if so, then I hope to see you in the next one.